Hello and welcome to the learning curve. We are doing a series of Flash and ActionScript 3 tutorials. Now today we will look at the addChild method. The addChild method is a method which is used to add symbols on the stage using ActionScript. So for this, first I will just create maybe first a rectangle. I'll convert it into a symbol using F8, export it for action, and I will call this class as rectangle. So this is the class definition which will be automatically created since we are not writing down a formal definition. Now I will add another symbol, maybe an oval. The color can be anything else. Okay, again select it, convert it to a symbol, and the symbol will be, I'll say, name the class as circle. Same definition here. This is the registration point, that's the registration point here. Now again I'll now maybe add pentagon, color it to green, and again convert it to a symbol, F8, and I'll call this class pentagon. Okay, so now I have these three symbols available in the library. I'll just delete them from the timeline for the moment, and I want to be able to add these symbols using my ActionScript for basically adding these symbols onto the stage or on the timeline. So for this we will use the addChild method. Now you must have seen the application of these whenever, suppose I play a game like Pet Society. I am able to buy items and add them on my timeline. So this is the concept of addChild which is used. So I'll just create another layer, add ActionScript to it. I will first have to create instances of the classes that I have created. So I'll name my circle as my C, and it's going to be a circle which was defined earlier. That was the name of the class which we had given for the circle. And now this particular statement is basically creating the variable myC of the type circle in the memory. Now to be able to display it onto the stage, we have to add it to the timeline, which is basically the timeline displays objects according to its display list, and we can control this display list using the addChild method. So I will just add myC to it and control enter. We will be able to see this. If I just comment this out, you will see that nothing is displayed. So although the variable was created, I am able to see this only when my child is added to the timeline. Once this is done, now what we will do is that we can also change the position of this circle. So I can say myC dot x, I can give it as 100, myC dot y is equal to again 100. So I want the position xy to be 100 and 100 according to the registration point. Now once this is done, now I will add more instances of the other classes that we had created. So we had a rectangle, so I'll call it my R. It's going to be of the type rectangle. Again it's going to be a rectangle class which we had defined, and an automatic definition of this was made, my R. The positions we can change. So I want the X position to be maybe 120 and the R position can be 150. Now let's see. So you can see that a rectangle is also added. Now this is on in front of the circle, so it depends on whatever we are adding initially, that's behind, and then whatever we are adding later, it becomes forward. So whatever I keep adding, the instances will be created and they will be put on top of the previous element. So that's how the list is basically, display list is created. My display list is basically a list of variables, and the first variable would be the circle one, then the rectangle, and then maybe the pentagon one. And this is how my elements appear on the stage. So I am able to add my elements which are of instances present inside the library through the ActionScript. Now an interesting thing is that there is something called a display object container. So these are basically display objects. A container is something like a movie clip or a sprite. For that, I'll just create a variable. I'll name it the container. It's going to be a movie clip type equals new, and this is an instance of a movie clip. So now I create a variable called container which is of the movie clip type, and so what's happening here, that when display this, there's no change. Now suppose I say that these children are basically of my container. So I say that this movie clip of mine, it has these two children called myC and myR. Now when I enter, I can just see the pentagon because it was the child of the initial timeline, and these two are children of the movie clip, but the movie clip has not been added to the timeline. That is why these two are not displaying. So to be able to see these, I need to add this addChild. I need to add this container to the timeline. So once I do this, I'll be able to see all the children of the container, the myC and myR, which are displayed only when the container is added to the timeline. So hopefully this would explain the concept of addChild. I can just add more instances of whatever I want and display these instances onto the stage using the ActionScript. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. Thank you.